Dear students, so today we are going to discuss the second chapter, that is lattice vibrations. Lattice vibrations means suppose we apply any type of field gradient across a crystal. So what happens is that there will be elastic vibrations of atoms in the solid. Sometimes the field will be a thermal energy, and so because of this thermal energy, there will be elastic vibrations of the atoms in a solid, or because of the thermal gradient produced. And usually we are treating these vibrations as simple harmonic motion, and each atom can vibrate in three modes. So each atom can be considered as it's a three-dimensional harmonic oscillate. So the motion is considered to be this simple harmonic motion, and the vibrations is treated as a series of lattice wave with a frequency spectrum determined by the elastic properties of the crystal. The elastic properties of the crystal determines the lattice vibrations and the series of lattice waves frequency. That is a property of the lattice vibrations. Lattice means the atoms in the crystals, and the energy associated with the elastic waves, they are quantized, and this quantized energy is known as the phonons, and which are bosons having integral spins. So these are the basic properties of the lattice vibrations. Now let us come to the first topic, that is the vibrations of crystals with a monoatomic basis. That is the atom in which the basis consists of only a single atom. In that types, we have to find out the frequency of elastic waves in terms of the wave vector. That is our aim, aim in the first session. For that we are taking the example of a simple harmonic motion, and before that we can consider, suppose we have 100, 110, 111 propagation direction in a cubic crystal. Then suppose when a wave propagates along one of these direction, entire plane of atoms move in phase with the displacements either parallel to or perpendicular to the direction of wave vector. So if we are considered a simple cubic crystal with this direction, then we can study the vibrations of the crystal very easily. So in that case, what happens is that the planes of atoms either moves in phase with the displacement, either it will be parallel to or perpendicular to the direction of wave vector, if the directions are along these directions. And in that case, we can with the single coordinate us, the displacement of the plane s from its equilibrium position can be described. So in that case, what is our aim is, or what it simplifies the problem is that the motion that by a single coordinate, the displacement of a plane from the equilibrium position can be determined by the single coordinate s us, like that. Here these dashed lines indicates these planes in equilibrium, and the solid lines indicate planes for a longitudinal wave. If a longitudinal wave passes through the medium, the displacement of the planes will be like that. The dashed line indicates the direction of the original equilibrium plane, and the solid lines indicates the direction of the or the shift of these equilibrium planes from the equilibrium position because of the vibrations of the plane or vibrations of the lattices. Now we can study the system by taking an example as coupled to each other. Consider a system of identical atoms elastically coupled to each other by a spring. In order to study a system like this, we can take the example like this. Let the system has a simple cubic arrangement of masses m and a force constant k, interatomic space A. Consider the case of a one-dimensional chain of atoms which is displaced due to the passage of the longitudinal waves. So in order to find out the study, or in order to study the nature of the simple harmonic motions of the lattices in the crystal, we are considering a single array of one-dimensional chain of atoms, and suppose a longitudinal wave passes through the crystal. So what happens is that the chain, we are considering a chain of n atoms, and the last atom is connected with the first so as to form a ring. That is our consideration. Then if one atom starts vibrating, it does not continue to vibrate with a constant amplitude, because each atom interacts each other. That is, since each atoms are interconnected here by a spring, as an example, or by the atoms in the lattices are interconnected each other. That is, if any of the atom starts to vibrate, it will affect the neighboring atoms. So what happens is that in this, the transfer of energy takes place in a complicated way. So the interaction will cause it will modify the vibration of the single atom itself. So the amplitude of the vibration will change. It will not be a constant amplitude because of the interaction of the individual atom. Now for this we are considering, if we are considering an equilibrium position, if US is the displacement of the the atom we are considering, whose displacement is taken from the equilibrium position as US. So here the the atom is marked here. You can see here, this is the atom. Then this is the undisplaced lattice, and this is the displaced lattice. So this atom has been undergone a displacement. This is the equilibrium position. So it has been undergone a displacement US from its equilibrium position. Similarly, S plus 1th atom is this one, and it has undergone a displacement of US plus 1 from the equilibrium position. Here it is US minus 1th atom, so it has also undergone displacement from the equilibrium position. So if US is the displacement of the nth atom, then within their elastic limit, the force on the nth atom due to S minus 1th and S plus 1th atom will be, so instead of n plus 1, you have to write here S plus 1, n plus 1 not, it is S plus 1th atom, that will be, it is S plus 1th. So it will be K into US minus 1 to the left, and K into US plus 1 minus US into the right. That is the, in the case of force is equal to some K into X with a negative sign. That is the case of force constant in the case of, or the expression for force in the case of simple harmonic motion. So the one force is to the left and the other force is to the right. So the total force will be, we are writing this constant here, it is taken as, the constant is taken as C here. The force constant that you have to modify in the beginning also, it is here we are taking it as C. The force constant is taken as C, that you have to modify the note. So it is Fn is equal to C into US plus 1 minus US minus of US minus 1, US minus 1. That is the difference of the force to the two sides. Sum of the forces, total force on the S plus 1, S the atom, that is the expression is given by this equation. Now we know this force is given by m into d square US by dt square, mass into acceleration, that will be equal to C into US plus 1, then minus 2 US we have, plus US minus 1, and this d square US by dt square you can also write it as minus m omega square US, minus m omega square into US in terms of the angular frequency. So you know the relation connecting, that is a minus m omega square into this acceleration is equal to minus omega square into x. That expression we have substituted. So this expression becomes minus m omega square into US. That is the expression for force here. And the solution of this equation, differential equation, is a traveling wave solution we have, and that solution is given by US plus 1, that is equal to US plus or minus 1 is equal to U exponential ISKA exponential plus or minus IKA, or together you can write it as U exponential KA you can take outside, IK you can take outside. If it is S plus or minus 1 you can write it, that is S plus or minus 1 we can write it as, where K is the wave vector and A is the spacing between the planes. That is the this is a solution for the wave equation, that is the harmonic oscillator wave displacement for the planes, individual planes. Now you can substitute the solution here, that is minus m omega square into this is us, instead of us we can substitute u exponential iska, then that is equal to, so here us will be equal to, if us plus or minus 1 will be equal to u exponential iska exponential plus or minus ika, then us will be equal to u exponential ika into s. So you can substitute in the expression, so it is minus m omega square u exponential iska will be equal to, then on the right hand side we have c into, from both the equation you can take u outside, that is for the first one it is u s plus 1, so it is exponential I s plus 1 into k, plus next one u s minus 1 we have, so it is exponential I into s minus 1 into ka minus 2 times us, so it is 2 into exponential iska. Now dividing this expression throughout by u exponential iska, we obtain on the right hand side we have, left hand side we have m omega square, we have neglected the minus sign by multiplying it with on both sides. Then the second on the right hand side it becomes minus e into exponential ika, exponential sk is taken, it is getting divided, so remaining is ika plus exponential, then second term remaining is minus ika, you have to put a bracket here, that is exponential minus ika, then from the third term you have minus 2. So this is the expression for m omega square. So by substituting this, from this omega square is equal to 2c by m, that is what is this exponential ika plus exponential minus ika, that is equal to 2 cos ka. You can see in the on the side part you can see here it is 2 cos ka, so 2 cos ka minus 2, so you can take 2 outside here, so it is 2 into 1 minus cos ka. So omega square is equal to 2c by m into 1 minus ka, that is the expression for omega square. Omega square is equal to plus 2cm into 1 minus cos ka. So minus sign also omitted like this, it is actually it is 2 into cos ka minus 1. So by multiplying it with the minus 1 you will get it as the final expression becomes omega square is equal to 2c by m into 1 minus cos ka. And so So the shape of the graph will be like this, at a plus or minus pi by a, the slope will be 0. So this is the nature of the graph between omega by 4c by m raised to half, and on the x-axis we have k, and this is the relation, this is the dispersion relation omega versus k. Next we have to see what range of k is physically significant for elastic waves. That we have to see from the expression for first Brillouin. So from the graph dispersion graph you can see that for the region k far less than 1 by a, or lambda, if k is far less than 1 by a, then lambda will be far greater than a, which corresponds to the continuum approximation, and under that region omega is directly proportional to k. So in the region of first Brillouin zone, omega is directly proportional to k, we can say. For k, we can substitute, here we have k is equal to k dash plus 2 pi n by a. So here we are multiplying with this term and dividing this with the same term. So it is nothing but exponential I k dash into a. So the displacement can always be described by a wave vector within the first zone. That is a conclusion which we can make from here. So by subtracting here, so if the value of a k lies outside the first Brillouin zone, then by subtracting the integral multiple of 2 pi by a, that gives a vector, wave vector inside these limits. Suppose k lies outside the first zone, but a related wave vector k dash will be defined by k minus 2 pi n by a that lies within the first zone. So this 2 pi n by a or 2 pi by a means it is a reciprocal lattice vector. So the conclusion is that by subtracting a suitable reciprocal and appropriate reciprocal lattice vector from k, we always an equivalent wave vector in the first zone. So whatever be the wave vector outside, that can be expressed in terms of some wave vector within the first Brillouin zone. Now at the zone boundary, k max is equal to plus or minus pi by a we have, and us will be equal to u into exponential is ka, that is equal to u exponential is into k substitute here pi by a into a, which is pi by a which cancels each other, and it is not a traveling wave, it is a standing wave. So at the zone boundary, the elastic wave is not a traveling wave, it is a standing wave. That is, at the zone boundary, s into k max into a is equal to s into pi by a into a, that is equal to plus or minus s pi. So therefore us will be equal to u exponential plus or minus is pi, that is equal to u into exponential plus or minus is pi is always minus 1. So that is minus 1 raised to s. The values will be minus 1 raised to SV. So that is alternate atoms oscillate in opposite phases. So if it is so if suppose we substitute u s for size 1, so u1 will be equal to u into minus 1 raised to 1, that is minus u. Then us plus 1 will be equal to u into minus 1 raised to 2. So that will be equal to u. So alternate atoms oscillate in opposite phases. That means which is the Bragg's reflection of X-rays. And this condition is equivalent to the Bragg's reflection of X-rays. That is, when this condition is satisfied, a traveling wave cannot propagate in a lattice, but through successive reflection, a standing wave is set up. So under this condition, so if the elastic wave satisfies this condition, then it will not produce a traveling wave, but instead of that it will undergo a standing wave, means it undergoes a type of Bragg's reflection of X-rays from this zone boundary. So in the expression you can see, if k we know k is equal to 2 pi by lambda into a, that is equal to pi by a means lambda is equal to 2a. Now we have the Bragg's equation 2d sin theta is equal to n lambda. So for suppose we are substituting for lambda is equal to 2a, then under the condition theta is equal to pi by 2. So under the condition theta is equal to pi by 2, this condition which we have already described, that is the Bragg's condition. So when theta is equal to pi by 2, 2d will be equal to 2na. So when n is equal to 1, lambda will be equal to again 2a. Lambda will be equal to 2a in the case of Bragg's condition. That is, if Bragg's condition is satisfied by the coming elastic wave, in that case the wavelength of the elastic wave will be equal to 2a, where a is the separation between these planes. So if a wave satisfies these conditions, then only it can undergo this Bragg's it undergoes the Bragg's reflection at the zone boundary. So ഇത് നമുക്ക് കൺക്ലൂഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നത് എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ, സപ്പോസ് ഇലാസ്റ്റിക് വേവ് മൂവ് ചെയ്യുകയാണ് ഒരു ക്രിസ്റ്റലിലൂടെ എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ, അപ്പോൾ അതിൻ്റെ വേവ് വെക്റ്റർ ഈ ഒരു കണ്ടീഷൻ സാറ്റിസ്ഫൈ ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അവിടെ അത് സോൺ ബൗണ്ടറിയിൽ വെച്ചിട്ട് സക്സസീവ് റിഫ്ലക്ഷൻ നടന്നിട്ട് ഇലാസ്റ്റിക് വേവ്സ് it will not move to the next part of the crystal or to the next zone. It will undergo it will produce a standing wave pattern in the first Brillouin zone itself. Otherwise, it is not satisfied. This elastic wave can propagate through the crystal. That is the conclusion which we can make. If it satisfies this condition, it also satisfies the Bragg's condition, and the elastic wave undergoes Bragg's reflections. And the under that condition, the wavelength will be equal to 2 times the separation of the lattice. Now the remaining part we can discuss in the next video.